Promoting the growth of the tabletop sports hobby, this is Imagisport.
And now we're going to go to the wild card chart for our next set of maneuvers here. All right, what's going to happen on the wild card chart? It's going to be 45. And does Croc Wilson have the cheat quality? He does not. So the cheating move causes the referee to stop the match. No decision. So apparently it went outside the ring again and all hell broke loose, and the referee decided to make it a no contest. So we're going to do another grudge match challenge. There will be a rematch for the TV championship, and I think we're going to make this one no disqualification. So both celebrities join the host and guest for the show. Fight breaks out between the celebrities, and wrestlers will join in. Okay, so this is news here. So the race car driver who won in the who distracted them in the last match, Jordy Pettis, comes out, starts running his mouth. And then here comes Ray Bob Walker out. And so Ray Bob, he is not too happy with what's been going on either. He's coming out here to support Jordy Pettis. Now, his main adversary is Sergeant Slash. But, of course, Sergeant Slash is on the shelf right now thanks to being put on there by Yefeni Achid. However, coming out to the aid of Ray Bob Walker are the good old boys, Ray Hargis and Ed and Haystacks Hill. Gaylord T. Goods coming out here as well. And this looks like a Pier 6 slobber knocker going on out here.
Imagisport presents Old School Wrestling, featuring the stars of the Old School Wrestling Association. All OSWA matches are simulated with Face to the Mat from PLAAY Games. You can order Face to the Mat and various wrestler card sets from the Play Classic website at www.playclassic.com. Now, let's go to the OSWA studios.
Our first match today here on Old School Wrestling is a qualifying match for Gift or Gone, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Sunrise, Florida, weighing in at 220 pounds, this is Bananas Foster. And his opponent hails from Commerce, Oklahoma, 265 pounds. This is Terry Crash Bradley. All right, welcome to Old School Wrestling here on Imagisport. This is Derek Jones. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. We're going to get right into the action here with an opening match that's going to determine the next participant in Gift or Gone. We'll have more details on how Gift or Gone is going to work later on in the broadcast. But for right now, we're going to do the pre-match roll, and that's going to take us to highlight Reel R. And from there, we're going to have a 31. The heel is angered by negative fan response to the entrance. Increase the heel's grudge grade to 2 points. And so Bananas Foster is going to be the heel in this situation. We're going to pause the video, adjust its grudge grade, and then we will be right back. All right, we've upped Bananas' grade from a 5 to a 7 in the grudge category. So the ref has given his instructions, call for the bell, and here we go. We're underway. TV grade is going to be Crash with 2 points here for a big boot. And then powerful. Crash is only powerful on a square, so no points awarded to either wrestler there. He is not a title holder. Neither one is. Is either one mean? Nope. We got the boo rule in effect for 3 straight no-point cards, and so 4 more points go Crash Bradley's way. Ref bump, not going to have that in the opening match. Trailing wrestler is Bananas Foster. He is going to get 2 points for a forearm smash. And quick. Bananas quick as well on any square or circle. So he's going to get a point for a bell clap. And now strong. That's Crash Bradley on the circle. 3 big points there as he delivers a cradle pile driver. And is Crash Bradley agile? He is, but only on a circle. So we're going to flip it around here. And Bananas Foster is going to use his quickness to get 2 points with a throat strike. But TV Grade, once again, is going to go to Crash Bradley, another 2 points for a roundhouse kick. And we're going to go to mean. Nobody is mean. No, neither one scored on the last fast action card, so we're going to flip that again. Neither one has cheat quality. So again, we have a boo rule situation. It's going to be 2 points there, and it's going to set up Crash Bradley for a pin attempt. Bananas Foster is a D, so he has to get 11 to 16 to kick out. There's 1, that's a 24. There's 2, that's a 32, and there is 3. So a very easy victory there for Crash Bradley as he will advance to Gift or Gone coming up at OSWA Uprising. Let's go ahead and go to the post-match roll, and we're going to go to highlight reel X for that result. So here we go. There's the highlight reel, and we have a 41. The Hotbox ally of the winning wrestler is angered by the snub, and he's going to increase the ally's grudge grade by 2 points. Uh-oh, who's coming out now? Well, the Hotbox ally of Crash Bradley for this card happens to be Mr. Henderson. And Mr. Henderson is not too happy about almost being forgotten about here in the OSWA. And he's not taking too kindly to it. So Mr. Henderson is going to get a grudge score. So 2 points. It's going to be going on to his grudge grade. So as we go to break, Crash Bradley is your winner in our opening contest. We'll be back with more old school wrestling right after this. Time out.
And what a great first match we had today here on Old School Wrestling. I'd like to apologize for some of the sound issues in the background at the end of that particular match. I had the background noise suppression turned up way too much on my Zoom. I'll have that rectified before the next match here. But speaking of our next matches, we have a stacked card the rest of the way for you today based off of things that happened on our last show. Coming up momentarily, Sergeant Slash and Yefeni El Achid will go at it one-on-one. And if you remember on our last show, Yefeni El Achid attacked Sergeant Slash pretty good and injured him a little bit. But he's going to try to gut it out this week. Let's see how well he does. Television title rematch today, as you recall in our last show, and as you saw in the open, Croc, Wilson, and Hank McFee battled to a no contest. They're going to get a rematch today, and this rematch is going to be no disqualification. And then in our main event, it's going to be one for the ages, folks. Also, we saw a little bit of what happened last show during the opening here today. It's going to be a 6-man tag team match. And on one side of the ring is going to be Nick Kanicki and Dan Hammer, the World Tag Team Champions, also, as you know, members of the Blue Collar Mafia. They're going to be teaming with SCRAM auto racing legend Jordy Pettis on one side, and on the other side are going to be the good old boys, and their partner, none other than the SCRAM legend himself, Ray Bob Walker. And not only is it going to be a 6-man match, but it's going to be no disqualification to boot, and there's going to be a wrench on one of the neutral corners. So whoever can get their hands on that wrench can use it anytime that they want. Again, like I said, very stacked card here today. We hope you enjoy the show, and let's get back to action with Sergeant Slash taking on Yefeni El Achid.
Our next contest here in Old School Wrestling is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Riyadh, Dubai, weighing in at 310 pounds. This is the Farouk of Fashaw, Yefeni El Achid. And his opponent hails from Granite Shoals, Texas, 255 pounds. This is Sergeant Slash. Sergeant Slash and Yefeni El Achid continuing their feud here today. Remember on our last show, Yefeni El Achid attacked Sergeant Slash after his match with the Duke of Whirl. We're going to go to highlight reel O for our pre-match 65. Celebrity 2 fawns over the favored wrestler, and it's going to reduce the wrestler's grudge grade by 1 point. So Kevin Hart's going to come out, and he's got some nice things to say about Sergeant Slash here today. So that's going to reduce Sergeant Slash's grudge grade even more. It was at a -6, and now it's going to be at a -7, which in a grudge match is probably not the best of situations. But Sergeant Slash has been a top competitor here in the OSWA for a long time. And again, his hatred for Yefeni Achid is simmering, and it's approaching the boiling point at any moment. Ref calls for the bell. Here we go, and we start off with Achid, and that is going to be Yefeni Achid's specialty here. And so he is going to get 5 big points right away with a loaded boot. How about that? So 1, 2, 3, 4. He puts him on a loaded boot, and then he goes ahead and he throws Sergeant Slash out of the ring. So right away, there's mayhem here on Old School Wrestling. And we can afford the trailing wrestler options to deliver payback blows or follows the ref's directive to get back in the ring. Well, Sergeant Slash, he's going to return the favor, and he's going to get 3 points of his own here. So now we go to 10. The leading wrestler smashes opponent with a steel chair for another point as we continue to take the fight outside. An 8. Leading wrestler pummels opponent on the announcer's table for 2 more points. So here we go there. Again, they are battling outside the ring here, and we have a 6. And so Sergeant Slash goes right into the side of the ring as Yefeni Achid shoves him there. And we continue with our out of the ring action, and the ref finally says that's enough of that, and we're going to go back inside the squared circle. And so, is Yefeni Achid helped? Well, he has. Well, definitely he is helped in this situation, because who's coming out here but one of his foreign destruction henchmen, Chief Wahoo. So that outside interference is going to give Yefeni Achid 2 more points, as he's really taking it to Sergeant Slash here in this matchup. Neither one is agile, though. An object, neither one has an object. Grudge grade. Yefeni Achid has the grudge advantage. He's got the 3 points for a swinging DDT, and he's going to cover Sergeant Slash for the pinfall. 11-26 in order to kick out. There is 1. There is 2. And there is 3. So in what could be considered to be a major upset here, Yefeni Achid was all over Sergeant Slash once again. He pummeled him in our last show, and he pummeled him again in the grudge match. So before we get to the post-match roll, because it was a grudge match, TV grades get adjusted here. So both of those TV grades are going to be changed to a C, with Yefeni's going up and Sergeant Slash's going down. So let's go to the U chart, because Yefeni Achid won this match. So we're going to go to highlight reel U here for that one, and it's going to be a 32. The heel win results in a new alliance between a heel and a choice wrestler. And that new alliance, if it wasn't really official before, well, it's certainly official now. The Duke of Whirl has now officially become a member of Foreign Destruction, joining Chief Wahoo, Bing Chun Yi, and the Deep End. And all 3 of them are starting to pound on Sergeant Slash right now, until Colonel Union comes out with a chair and starts chasing them all away. But Yefeni Achid gets the upper hand on Sergeant Slash today. We're going to turn our attention over to the ringside lounge set for that interview segment. You're watching Old School Wrestling right here on Imagisport. Time once again for the Ringside Lounge here on Old School Wrestling, and in comes your host of this interview segment, none other than Lucky Lou Cool. And his special guest today, as rolled off camera, is the man who is coming up next, the current OSWA television champion, Croc Wilson. And remember, he's got the no disqualification rematch against Hank McFee, and that is going to be coming up after this interview segment is over. Let's see what's happening in the interview. It's going to be a 65, and it's going to be 65D because Lucky Lou Cool is more of a heel. The host refuses to let the guest speak. Basically, what Lucky Lou Cool is saying is that Hank McFee got robbed last week, and Hank McFee is going to beat you up and down one side of the ring and the other, and he's going to be the next TV champion. And guess what? Croc Wilson is having none of that. Croc Wilson takes the jaws of death onto Lucky Lou Cool, grabs the microphone, and says, "Hey, I'm your TV champion here. I'm the one who's going to win tonight, and this belt's staying around my waist for a long time." So what's going to happen here is that the TV grade of Croc Wilson gets increased by a letter grade, so he becomes a AA once again, while Lucky Lou Cool, on the other hand, becomes a D. So we're going to try to get order restored here. We'll go back to the studio and get set up for that TV title match. We'll be back with more Old School Wrestling right after this timeout. And Croc Wilson making a huge statement there on the Ringside Lounge, putting his finisher on Lucky Lou Cool. He is definitely ready for this no DQ title defense coming up here in just a few moments. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that Old School Wrestling is being brought to you by Face of the Mat, the official game engine of the Old School Wrestling Association. The 2023 or Wrestling American Federation cards are going to be coming out pretty soon. They are not available yet, but in the next few months they should be. In the meantime, you can get the 2021 stars for only $21 printed, and for the PDF is slightly less, about $12 there. And you can also get stars from the 90s, 80s, and 70s, depending on which generation that you want to have a part of in your own wrestling federation with Face to the Mat. The ones that we're using mostly in this federation are from the 70s stars set. Again, this is a lot of fun. The game's pretty easy to learn, and there is also a few rules for head-to-head play if you wanted to play with a friend. Once again, that is Face to the Mat, on sale right now at the Play Classic website, www.playclassic.com. That's 2 A's in the word play. Now let's get back to the ring. Television title on the line. No disqualification. Croc Wilson versus Hank McFee. Let's go to the ring. Our next match here on Old School Wrestling is for the OSWA Television Championship. It is a no disqualification match, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the challenger, hailing from Dixon, Tennessee. Weighing in at 260 pounds, this is Honky Tonk Hank McFee. And his opponent comes to us today from New Iberia, Louisiana. He weighs in at 275 pounds. He is the reigning and defending OSWA television champion. This is Croc Wilson. Croc Wilson in what technically would be his third television title defense is a rematch from our last show against Hank McFee. So before we get in, let's go to Highlight Reel O and see what the pre-match result is going to be. It's going to be a 42. Hotbox Ally, the favored wrestler, ticked off by TV announcer comments, increased grudge grade by 1 point. And we have a newcomer to the OSWA. His name is Kid Cowboy. And he wants to make a name for himself and make his presence felt as well. We'll see him in an upcoming show. And he's already going to get a grudge grade point to go along with that. So with that taken care of, here we are. This is what it's for, the OSWA Television Championship. Referee calls for the bell, and here we go. and it's going to be a specialty. So Croc Wilson's going to come right out with the Crocodile Rocker near knee bar for 3 points. And the grudge grade, that's going to go to Croc Wilson as well, another 2 points for a turnbuckle smash. And then TV grade's going to go to Croc Wilson, 4 points for an armbar. Really taking it to Hank McFee in this matchup. Not wasting any time, but he does not have the cheat quality. So we're going to go to quick, and Hank McFee is not quick though, and we will just go on. Heavy, Croc's heavy on a circle. That is not going to work. So we're going to go back to the cheat quality. That's not going to work either. Heavy, again, that's not going to work. Boo rule in effect. That's going to be good news for Croc Wilson. 4 points right there. And a pin attempt right away on Hank McFee. 11-16 for him to kick out. There is 1. There is 2. And there is 3. And so very little time at all, and really not much in the way of no disqualification, hardcore variety, but Croc Wilson just blows through Hank McFee, and he retains the OSWA Television Championship. Let's go ahead and go to the post-match here. We're going to go to Highlight Reel X for that. Just goes to show you, you never know what's going to happen here on Old School Wrestling. 56, Commissioner's TV comments diffuse the intensity of the winning wrestler. So Croc Wilson's grudge grade is going to go down 3 points. So it's going to go down from an 8 to a 5 as the commissioner comes out and says, Croc, okay, excellent win there. Keep that up, and you're going to have some better opportunities in the future. So I'm not sure what the commissioner has up his sleeve as he's talking to Croc Wilson. But nevertheless, Croc retains the TV title with a win over Hank McFee. We'll be back with more Old School Wrestling right after this timeout. Croc Wilson with another victory. He is still your OSWA television champion. And, well, I guess technically that was his 4th defense. So next defense on our next show will be defense number 5. And if he can hold on to the belt after our next show, he could be in line for a world title opportunity if he chooses to do so. We'll see what happens next week, or I should say on the next show, and see how that all plays out. But right now, before we get to our main event, again, our super card is coming up very shortly. We have 2 more shows before we get to OSWA Uprising. And so we have some matches signed for that already. Who is this guy? Is going to be taking on the commissioner's henchman, Vic Loathsome. That should be a knockdown, drag-out affair if there ever was one. Speaking of the commissioner, he is going to be in the ring with Z. Remember, Z defeated Vic Loathsome on a previous episode of Old School Wrestling to get this opportunity, to get his hands on the man who was once his main advocate but has since turned against him. So Z wanted his hands on him, and he's going to get him one-on-one at Uprising. Gift or Gone is going to be a special kind of match we're going to have on that super card. Basically, how Gift or Gone is going to work is 10 wrestlers are going to participate in this match, and they're going to go after 4 briefcases. There's going to be 1 briefcase attached to each corner of the ring. And so basically, the object is to grab one of those 4 briefcases. And once all 4 of them have been obtained, the match is over. And then on the following episode of Old School Wrestling, the contents of the briefcases will be revealed. 3 of those 4 briefcases will contain title opportunities. There's going to be a world title match, a tag team title match, and a television title match. The last briefcase, however, will have a pink slip. That's right, somebody will be fired as a result of this match. So once again, that is Gift or Gone. So far, we have 5 of the wrestlers booked for it. They are Sergeant Slash, Kevin Linton, Mr. Everything, the Big Grabowski, and Crash Bradley, as you saw earlier today. And then in our main event for OSWA Uprising, the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. Lobster Man will defend the belt against Steve America. Once again, that's OSWA Uprising, and that is going to be coming up in 3 episodes. It'll be episode number 21, so we'll have 2 regular episodes to go. here before we get to Uprising. Now time for our main event, 6-man tag. Kanicki, Hammer, and Jordy Pettis versus the Good Old Boys and Ray Bob Walker. No disqualification. There's a wrench in one of the neutral corners. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's find out right now. Here we go to the ring for our main event. Our old school wrestling main event today is a 6-man tag team match. It is a no disqualification match where there will be a wrench attached to one of the neutral corners. Any wrestler who can get their hands on that wrench will be able to use it. This match is scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, making their way to the ring at this time, accompanied by Roger Elder. Total combined weight of 585 pounds from South Toledo, Ohio, and Beardsley, Georgia, respectively. They are the current OSWA World Tag Team Champions, Nick Kanicki and Dan Hammer. They are members of the Blue Collar Mafia. And their tag team partner hails from Bristol, Tennessee. He weighed in at 246 pounds. He is a current SCRAM auto racing legend. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jordy Pettis. And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents making their way to the ring at this time. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by their good buddy, Gaylord T. Good, from Sparksville, Indiana and Tulsa, Oklahoma, respectively, at a total combined weight of 570 pounds. Haystacks Hill, Red Hargis. They are the Good Old Boys. And their tag team partner hails from Talladega, Alabama, 205 pounds. He is one of the most popular auto racers on the SCRAM circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Bob Walker. So what a mass of humanity we have in the ring right now. The World Tag Team Champions and Jordy Pettis against the Good Old Boys and Haystacks Hill. Belts are not on the line here, but a lot of pride and a lot of hatred is. And so we're going to go to Highlight Reel R to get this kicked off here. And we will see what happens with this. It's a 32. The heel attempts a cheap shot during the pre-match activities, but is stopped by the face ally. So Mother Mertz is going to come down and even things out here a little bit for that, saying but the heel's grudge grades are going to go up by 1 point. So we're going to pause the video, try to restore some order, adjust those grudge grades, and we'll be back with our main event. All right, order is now restored. It's going to be Ray Hargis and Nick Kanicki starting for their respective teams. And here we go with our main event. And we're going to go to Agile to start off with, and that's going to be Ray Hargis. He is going to get 1 point for his agility with a flying axe kick. So let's go ahead. Are we going to make a tag here? Actually, it's going to be a hot tag. Nick Kanicki is just going to come back, and he's going to tag in Dan Hammer. So the Good Old Boys starting off pretty well here. Favorite, and that's going to go Ray Hargis' way. He's going to get 2 points for a stretch slam. Let's see what happens in this exchange. Nothing happens here. No tag. We move on. And it's going to be heavy. And so both of them are heavy. So Dan Hammer is going to come back in this match with 3 points for a big splash. And let's see if he can make a tag. And he will be able to. So he's actually going to... Oh boy, there's going to be a lot of guts here. He's going to tag in Jordy Pettis. What's up with that? So, but Ray Hargis, with the favorite quality here, he is going to get a D6 roll of points here, and that's going to be 3 more points for a second rope fist drop. And so they're clamoring. They want Ray Bob Walker to be in this matchup, and he is. So Ray Bob Walker will get the tag. Coming up here. And so Ray Bob and Jordy Pettis, and look out. Ray Bob Walker's got the wrench. Ray Bob Walker's got the wrench, and he hits Jordy Pettis with it, and he gets 2 points. Oh, Lordy. No tag here, so both Ray Bob and Jordy are going to be back in. Ray Bob's not mean, however, so we're going to go to strong. Jordy Pettis is strong. He makes a good comeback here. 3 points there for a shoulder neck breaker. Let's see if he can get out of dodge. He can't. So Ray Bob and Jordy are still in there. Is Jordy strong? He is not. So it's going to go to Ray Bob specially. The belly-to-belly suplex, 4 points there. And he gets a pin attempt on Jordy Pettis. 11-23 to kick out. And Jordy Pettis kicks out at 1. Oh my goodness here. Are we going to get a tag here? No tag. It's going to be Ray Bob and Jordy once again. And he scored on the last fast action start, so he does a signature move. And he's going to call for a finisher? Ray Bob's got a wrestling finisher? No way. Yeah, way. It's the Alabama Jam leg drop. 11-44 with it. And he connects with Jordy Pettis. He makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. And Ray Bob Walker is your winner of the main event, along with the Good Old Boys. And that hit to the head with the wrench midway through the match was all that Ray Bob Walker needed. And he took control the rest of the way and pinned Jordy Pettis. And the team of the Good Old Boys and Ray Bob Walker are your victors here in our main event. So we're going to go to highlight reel T for our final post-match result of this card. And it's a 66. The face win results in an opportunity to generate heat, increase the TV grid on a die roll if not. So he's going to work the crowd here. They are going to work the crowd for sure, and they're going to get a roll of a 5, which is going to actually increase the heels. So basically they're going to do that. It's basically going to turn into a Pier 6 brawl here, where Kanicki and Hammer and Pettis are not having anything to do with it. But what that means is for the tag team champs, they're actually going to increase their TV grades. So that's even going to make them have a more solid footing as they defend their tag team championships. So here they are. They have their belts. They're going back to the locker room. The crowd is booing the living daylights out of them. But we still have celebration in the ring after all that mayhem with Brad Hargis, Haydex Stax Hill, Gaylord T. Good, and Ray Bob Walker. Get your pinfall victory in our main event. We'll go back to the studio for a wrap-up. What a performance put in by Ray Bob Walker and the Good Old Boys. They come out on top on our main event today here on Old School Wrestling. And what's that going to mean for the tag team picture now? Because let's face it, the title holders, albeit in a 6-man match, they have now suffered a loss. So we'll try to find out what we can, and we'll give you more information about that next week, or I should say on our next show, which will probably be about 2 or 3 weeks time, depending on my work schedule. Speaking of next show, what is going to come up on it? Well, the Kid Cowboy is going to be making his OSWA debut. And then also on our next show, it's going to be another Gift or Gone qualifying match. Al Rose is going to be taking on the Freight Train, Jerry Wayne. Once again, Croc Wilson will defend his OSWA TV title. His opponent this time is going to be Mother Mertz, a very large man, and should be quite the challenge for Croc Wilson. We'll see if he's up to it. Remember, if he wins, that'll put him in line, if he wants, for a world title opportunity somewhere down the road. And then main event on our next show, and this is stemming from what happened earlier in that match between Sergeant Slash and Yefeni Achid. You remember Yefeni Achid and his Foreign Destruction mates ganged up on Sergeant Slash after that match was over. Colonel Union came out to try to fend them off. But Sergeant Slash isn't going to be able to go for a while, at least not until Uprising. He's just too banged up. So Colonel Union, but he wants foreign destruction in the worst way. And he's willing to even try to find a mystery partner in order to get that done. So our main event on our next show is going to be the foreign destruction team of Bing Chun Yi in the deep end taking on Colonel Union and a mystery partner. And you won't know who that is until our next show. So be sure and stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for this episode of Old School Wrestling here on Imagisport. From all of us here on the channel, this is Derek Jones saying thank you once again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and most of all, keep on rolling. We'll see you next time.